final Detroit Lions community mock draft. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to have to share my screen with y'all, and that's fine. I can do that. All right. And we're going to just take our time as we go through this. I think I did a full 7-rounder, which is just ridiculous. So let's start the draft. But the question is there anybody you want to trade up for? Is there anyone that you want to trade up for? I was all aboard the trade up train. I would have been perfectly fine with moving into the mid-first round by giving up our 29th pick and a second rounder. I was fine with that. But then we gave up one of those third rounders for Carlton Davis. And so our own, by the way. So I am no longer in I'm no longer in that boat. I'm no longer in that boat. All right. And Joseph, we'll keep this in mind. Cornelius Johnson, special teams guy, killer blocker, thinking a late flyer on the Michigan man. And by the way, I think that in many ways, he's shown more skills than even Donovan Peoples-Jones did in college, just for what it's worth. So let's start this draft. I'm not going to trade up. We'll look at trade back scenarios if we have any offers. I have no problem with that. So the draft's kind of going as we think it's going to go. And I'm just excited to see if anybody falls to us. So there goes Chop. There goes Adonai Mitchell, right? So a lot of this is just how does it fall to you? And when we were talking about players that we liked, we were down to 3 players that I was just like, these are great players. All right. Jerzon Newton, Kool-Aid McKinstry, all right, and Jackson Powers Johnson. So you tell me, who do you want? Load the comments. All right. Those are the 3. We're going to look at the trade while we look at those 3. Newton, McKinstry, and Powers Johnson. Who do you want in this community mock? Because quite honestly, if those are the 3 players that are available to me, I don't know what I would choose. I mean, that is some really, really good stuff. All right. So, so the only thing that we got possibly here is with the Atlanta Falcons, where we could trade out of 29 and get probably 43 and 74. I don't like that just because, man, I like what we've got. All right. I like what we got. So that makes me very happy. All right. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to, yeah, there's nothing here. So, so here's what we're getting. All right. We got Kool-Aid of those. Newton would be a steal. Newton, or Powers Johnson. All right. So it looks like early returns in the community mock are Jerzon Newton. So let's take a look at this guy. Let's see who he is. And you guys keep hitting those, keep hitting it. All right. Don't worry. We're going to take more time on the first 3 picks. Then we're going to get quick on the later ones. All right. This is a guy who can just be an absolute stud. He can be an absolute stud. And I think when we look at him, you have to realize, like, the grades match up. There was some injury stuff last year, but he is a defensive tackle that can stop the run, all right, at a pretty decent rate. But what he also does that's so impressive is that he gets a pass rush from the defensive tackle position. He gets a good pass rush from the defensive tackle position. So I think the people have spoken, and it turns out that you Lions fans like to build in the trenches, which I am all for. So community mock draft pick 1 with the 29th pick, Jerzon Newton. And I can get behind that. No problem. All right. No problem. Gives us a little built-in insurance with Aleem McNeil. Also allows you, if you want, I think Jerzon Newton has the skill even to set the edge and be a big man on the edge. Like, that's just crazy to me. Crazy to me. All right. So while we were gone, let's just take a look and kind of see what we're looking at here. I'm not sure how they do the trades here, so we're just going to do a straight draft, which is fine. I've done it before, so it's weird. Maybe I'm just, struggling with this. So here's what we're talking about with the 61st pick. All right, let's go interior offensive line. You still have Christian Hayes available. All right, he's still there. Cooper Beebe is available. All right, these are 2 guys that you could go. I'm not going to take Beebe though. So it's Christian Hayes. All right, if you go to the wide receiver room, you've got Ricky Pearsall. All right, good player. Malachi Corley, Jermaine Burton, Devontae Walker. All right, do you guys like any of those guys? All right, I personally don't think Pearsall will drop to 61, but if he does, I would be shocked if we did not take him. This guy is Ladd McConkey. He's Ladd McConkey with worse quarterback play. All right. When he was able to be on the field consistently last year, only 87 targets, but 65 catches. All right. He played really, really well. His receiving grade's good. His contested catch rate's just fine. All right. His grade versus man coverage is good. He can be a good player. He's 6'1", 192 pounds, but man, oh man. The problem is, can he play on the outside? Can he play on the outside? Whereas a couple of guys, Jermaine Burton, all right, he can. All right. He has elite quickness. All right. He can play flanker. He can play slot. The problem is, what's going on with him? Right. He played 2 seasons at Georgia before transferring to Bama, where he was a 2-year starter. He is a highly competitive wide receiver. He's not afraid of any matchup. Will talk trash consistently. Is he a guy who loves ball, or does he love talking trash? And those are the kind of questions that I want the Lions to be able to figure out. All right. And then you have Devontae Walker. I'm not going Walker yet because I think we could get him with the next pick. So Pearsall, you go Braswell, edge. Is that something you want? I personally think you get your guard of the future with Christian Haynes, but I don't know. All right. I hear a lot of stuff. All right. Oh, we got a QB or cornerback question. All right. Who do we got at corner? All right. This is where you get Andrew Phillips. I am underwhelmed by that man. I'm not saying he couldn't be good, but he kind of falls in the same mold that we've struggled with in the past, which are corners that just aren't fast. And like, we need to have corners that can stick with these fast guys. Like, that's just kind of the way that I'm seeing it. All right. I think Abrams Drain will be around longer. I'm fine with waiting for him. I'm absolutely fine with waiting for him. So I think in this one, I think I go Christian Haynes. I go interior offensive line. I've seen O-line by a couple here. BB might still be available, but also here's what we got to do, everybody. We got to go Marshawn Nealon, because we had him in multiple visits. He's the edge rusher that is got good size, so he can do that. All right, he can do that. And I think with pick 73, we can still get Cooper Beebe on the offensive line, but Marshawn Nealon won't be available. So we're going to continue to build through the trenches. We went defensive line. Now we're going to go edge, and now we have the best defensive line in the football in National Football League. All right, and let's just see if Haynes almost made it to us. He got picked one before us. The Jets. What are you doing, New York? Get out of here. All right, so interior O-line, Cooper Beebe is still available. Like I said, I thought he would be. I have no problem going O-line here. At some point, we have to get our guard of the future. Here's the thing that's nice about Beebe. He started at guard. He started at left tackle as a freshman or sophomore, whatever he was at the time, right? And then last 2 years, he played almost completely at guard, but he's also played right tackle. So this is a guy who can come in here. If you need him to play tackle in a pinch, he can, but he also is a guard. And you can always move Graham Glasgow. You can shift him over to center. You know he knows how to do it. He doesn't love doing it, but he knows how to do it. So BB is the guy that I really like in this situation. And I think a lot of you are mad at me that I didn't go O-line. On the last pick, Steve said O-line, yeah, for the last pick, and I didn't do it. So now he's telling me BB for sure. So I totally get that. All right. So let's draft BB. And I can't get these comments to mess around. So anyways, that might be stuck there. All right, Steve, you're going to have a lot of good airtime there because the computer is not working. There it goes. There it goes. All right. So now we are in what seems to happen every year with the Detroit Lions. We have this long. All right. Thank you, Rodney. I'm with you. All right. Everybody is saying BB. So We now have this thing where we have found guys that is just going to fill the trenches and continue to make our offensive defensive line good for the next 10 years. Like, that's huge. Linemen are so valuable. They're so valuable. And we already have a stud wide receiver. We already have a stud running back. We already have studs in certain positions. And now, oh man, wow. Do you double up on O-line? Like, we don't pick again till 201, but here we got Zach Zinner. All right. Zach Zinter. He won't be able to play this year. All right. But you could go there. All right. When you look at some of the other players that are available, you look at Edge, Braden McGregor. I don't hate that. There's a couple players that I really like that I'm going to see if they're around. Steel Chambers, like, look, I'm a Michigan fan, but what a great name. Can I just say that right now? Nehemiah Pritchett is a corner that we've had in a couple of times, and I think we like him. And I think one of the reasons that we like him, I look at certain stats more than others. So his PFF grade's a 71. That's not bad, right? And his run defense grade isn't bad, but we've had him in a couple of times for visits. So that means that we're at least considering this. But when you look at this guy, I look at this stat right here, passer rating allowed. So this past year, while being targeted only 26 times, in other words, people know, don't mess with this guy. He allowed a passer rating of only 58.8. 58.8. And he is fast. Oh, is he fast? He's 6'1", 184 pounds. He's not huge, but he's big enough. He's got the length and he's got the speed. All right. He's got the length and he has the speed. All right. While I'm talking to you right now, I'm going to pull up his RAS score. All right. All right. I'm going to pull this up. Sorry for 1 second, please. All right. He was a 9.25. He ran a 4.36. All right. You're just going to have to listen to my numbers here. He ran a 4.36 40. All right. He has decent height, decent size. All right. 9.25. 168th cornerback out of 2,222 ever tested. He is a very talented corner. He's not a guy who's going to come in and start right away at corner, but I think he is by far the most talented player left on the board, at least based on pure athleticism. So let's go Pritchett here. Somebody also said Haddon. Why do you like Haddon? That's a great question. All right. Kamal Haddon. What's so great about him, Steve? And then if you want, I will absolutely look at wide receiver because this is the last pick. Because here's the thing. If you don't know about wide receivers, at this point, when you talk in round 5, round 6, they're pretty much busts. So we're going to get out of this thing and we're not going to have a wide receiver. And that's going to be my greatest regret because Cornelius Johnson is already off the board. I thought he would still be available with this one. He was not. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. All right. But Nehemiah Pritchett is. And I think there's a world in which we trade up here if we want to go get the person we want. And so we're going to go corner. We're going to get hopefully a guy that can become a lockdown corner in the future. I'm kind of surprised, to be honest, that he was still there. I mean, kind of surprised he was still there. All right. So let's see what else we have. There's also still free agent wide receivers available. If we want to go out and get someone, we can talk about that in a minute. Okay. So now we're sitting here with very interesting players. All right. And I'm not entirely huge on a lot of them, but when I look at this is the type of guy that I feel he's a Michigan man. We know the Lions like Michigan players. He used to play at Indiana. Now he's at Michigan. He's still only 21, but he's 6'6", 251. All right. He is a very good blocking tight end. He is a very good blocking tight end. All right. So I'm also seeing somebody say Trey Taylor. All right. I think I already went past him. Trey Taylor is a safety out of Air Force. All right. Has just been a solid player. His run defense grade is good. His coverage grade is good. I think with Kirby Joseph and some of the numbers that you've seen on him. That might not be bad. All right. Is he fast enough? I don't know, but he's big. He's big and he's old. All right. I'm going to say he won't be around, but I'm going to say we go AJ Barner and then see if he's still around for the next one. So we get that backup tight end position locked up, and there you go, Trey Taylor. It's a Joseph. We lucked out. All right, there you go. All right, there's your guy, Trey Taylor with 205, and then we wait till 249, and we just see what happens. Now, again, you're trying to find special teams guys here. Both of those guys could be special teams players. Trey Taylor for sure. All right, kind of like perfectly made to be a special teams player. So I absolutely like that one. I like that one there. So we're going to just go ahead. We're going to take a look at it. And we are finally here at 249. And you know who I'm taking. All right. If we don't get the kicker from the Michigan Panthers, all right, that dude is solid. He is unbelievable. That's who I want. But if we have yet to get him, we go for Will. All right. Reichard out of Alabama, wearing his glasses, looking like a nerd, and kicking the ball like a mad dog. All right. Let's see what we got. All right. The one, it said that we should have drafted Michael Penix Jr. instead of Marshawn Nealon. Obviously, it doesn't know what's going on, but if that's the only swap, then I feel pretty good about it. We had an overall draft grade of a B. All right. We're in the top 68% of Detroit Lions drafts. I certainly hope so. I like the trenches like crazy. It's not boring. You guys are awesome. Yeah, I don't even think I saw Stigger's name on there. I see this. If Stiggers doesn't get drafted, I'm telling you right now, he's coming to us as a UDFA, and let's go for it. All right. Everybody watching now, not a big crowd, shouldn't be because I didn't announce that we were going live. So anyways, we are going live for the draft. Round one of the draft. It'll be year 3 in a row. I don't know if I'll be at Chris's house. I don't know if he'll be at my house. I don't know if we'll be at separate houses. All right. We might be at our own homes for this one, but maybe I'll get some pizza, order it in. All right. But hey, here's the deal. Join us. We want to be your go-to spot for the draft, making fun of other teams' picks, talking about good other teams' picks, and just having fun with the community. Every year it's a blast, just talking over the stream, talking through the comments. Just love doing this stuff with all of you. So if you haven't already made plans for the draft, if you're not going downtown to Detroit, watch it with us. We'd love to have you. All right. Thanks so much for watching this, and we will see you Thursday night. Have a good one.